All right, 1-2 test should be working. Hello.
Welcome back.
I
Welcome
live.
back.
All right. Awesome. I'm not
He
cursed.
lives.
Yippee.
Everything is good. All right, we're back. Okay. All right, let me just get back to match ID so we can move on. You guys remember? I think the last thing I was talking about, if I recall, was just making sure that you press your advantage together, steal their resources after the landing stage if you win, recognize if you're in an advantageous or disadvantageous 2v2, stuff like that, right? That's the last thing I said, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yes.
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yep, we're back, everyone on the stream. Someone in my Discord was like, what is this new schedule he's on? I feel like he's never online and late anymore. And I'm like, well, my computer didn't work for half the week last week. Now my power just went out. Life is difficult. Anyhow, you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let me just rewind a little bit because I don't think we were this far. So you guys pick up the urn. You have somewhat of an advantage. Pick up the urn. You kind of run it across. Now the one thing I will say, okay, well, this is really that haze is just dead. Okay. You kill the haze, then pocket comes to fight, and you're fighting. Now your whole team is kind of coming. I do feel like once again though, I was gonna say I feel like you guys aren't exactly on the same page, but Lash is coming over, so you guys should be able to clean this up. Even if you die on Infernus, it's like really good here. Okay, so Infernus dies, but not a big deal. This should be like free urn, free everything. Mirage doesn't even have to TP.
I think Mirage just gets run down here, though.
Really? Interesting. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so here I'm gonna pause. You guys are in a really, really good position here, right? So based on that, what do you guys think should be your focus in the next couple of minutes?
Taking their farm, I see like a lot left side.
Pushing lanes.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sure that
Taking their farm,
our
pushing
lanes
lanes.
are protected.
Yep. Yeah, so essentially, like, pushing the lanes is important. Taking their farm is important. Also, you guys have, like, you guys want to take the last Guardian, right? So having lane pressure, now, obviously, you don't want to send 5 or 6 people to the last Guardian. You want to maintain overall pressure, but getting that last Guardian is going to be, pretty important. You want that flex slot if you can. But you guys have a 7k lead, so essentially, if you maintain the status quo, it's really good. And also identify, like, who is weak and who is strong on their team, right? So right now, for example, their Haze is, like, not a player at all, right? Like, he's 0-3, 6.8k net worth at almost 12 minutes. This guy is, like, really, really weak. So anytime you guys see the Haze anywhere on the map, you should know that they're very weak on that side. And you guys should be very happy to play on that side, right?
It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't thought about that at all.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
I mean, you want to think about, like, who's strong on your team, who's strong on their team, who do you want to put where? For example, right now on your team, you guys have, like, Shiv and Infernus are, like, the final bosses, right? So they're the ones that are really strong. So you guys have to play around them. Mirage is just going to sit in the side lane, right? So most likely what I'd do is I would do my strong side around the Shiv and Furnace. And so I would do, like, some sort of, like, 4-2 split, right? You probably want to have one person that's, like, maintaining waves. So, like, you can have Mirage in this side lane here. I'd probably have something like Mirage in this side lane, maybe Shiv mid, and then I'd have, like, Infernus on the left lane as well, and then basically keeping the aggression, stealing their jungle, and then eventually you guys want to, like, try to look for kills with your Mo and Krill, Lash, and Vindicta. Like, you guys have a core of heroes that can be very active with those three, so you want to look for the kills, push the advantage further. So we're going to see what happens in the next couple of minutes, but essentially from this point, you guys have, like, a very, very overwhelming advantage. Like, Mirage here is being pushed. Infernus is going to come over to help. Probably unnecessary. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Like, you're happy to fight them, So, either way, it's fine. Now, I just want to point out real quick here. So, you guys have a lot of, like, 2v2s going on, right? It's pretty much 2v2s across the board. Now, this is a little bit kind of risky. Because some of those 2v2s are not, like, necessarily as guaranteed. And you also, like, you're not necessarily, like, if you die, it's really bad. Like, right? Like a trade is bad for you. They're gonna get more money out of it than you are because of comeback souls. You want to be careful like doing these trades. So I would recommend that you guys stack more people in one area. Like here in this situation, for example, on the side of Mirage, you go back here, but the Infernus is already here, right? So if I'm Mirage, I would have went to the other side of the map, and I would have just let Infernus take this lane if he's already there. On top of that, like in theory, you're actually fine with this, right? Because you do want this Guardian, so you do want the strong hero there to farm. I don't really like you going mid here on Infernus. I would have preferred you just sit in that side lane and just like, essentially like you can 1v1 anyone, right? So if you're in a 1v1 against Warden, that's very beneficial to you. But like sitting here in this mid lane is very like inefficient for you. You're not going to get the maximum amount of souls. And now Mirage is getting like 1v2'd. And you guys are kind of like sitting 4 people mid, right? This is not how you're going to progress the game. You want to make plays around those side lanes. You don't necessarily want to just park 4 people mid for no reason on no timing. And now the fact that you guys had 4 people there and lost Lash and then Mirage, all of a sudden your lead is like much smaller than it was before. Does that make sense?
Saw Mirage getting jumped, so 3 people left blue, and then we lost the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are kind of just, you guys are basically, instead of setting up plays, you guys are just reacting to what's happening, right?
Yeah, we should have used the
very
lead to
much
like
so.
actually do shit and get the Guardian because we have strong characters at the time.
Yeah, just do shit in their jungle. Like basically, you guys should be, if you're ahead that much, think about it. Any fight that you take with numbers is like super advantageous for you, right?
Yeah.
Like
Or if
there
they
was
have their
no
weak character there, like haste at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no shot that you guys would win a fight.
V2s, like at all times.
Yeah, exactly. Like even here, for example, with this whole play, you guys are still just 2 people, and now a 3rd person is going to show up late, you know? But like you guys aren't like really creating plays with numbers advantage, right? And the heroes that are supposed to make plays, like for example, Vindicta being in this position, if my Vindicta is involved in 1 kill at 14 minutes, I'm like something has gone horribly wrong. Because this is the hero that should be everywhere. And like same for Mo and Krill. Like Mo and Krill combo, if you've only been involved in 1 kill, it's like, okay, well, something is really like, something fundamentally is going wrong here. Because the heroes that should be active have not been involved in any kills.
Yeah, that was one problem. I had changed from Ivy to Vindicta, but my mindset didn't really change about how to play them. So I was playing it like I was playing Ivy.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so here Buffs and Urn are about to spawn. Let's see if you guys stack aside, right? So this is, so far, this is your greatest weakness in the sense that you guys are basically not setting up to make any play, even here, right? So Buffs and Urn are going to spawn in 30 seconds. The clock here is incorrect. But when they're going to spawn in 30 seconds, before they spawn, you guys should look to do something, right? Now, generally, you don't want to have Vindicta, like, catching waves, but sometimes she's going to have to catch waves, so this is, like, not the end of the world. But here, you guys should, like, decide to stack one side or the other. Now, I'll give you guys a pointer. Basically, at a certain point, both teams are going to be used to, like, hey, the buffs spawn on this side, right? So you guys get that buff for free. It looks like you guys get both buffs for free. But if you look, like, neither team fought it. Actually, Hayes got the buff. Basically, you guys like weren't set up on either buff, if that makes sense. Like you had Shiv alone on one buff, and then on the other buff, you had like Mo and Krill just like scouting. If they've just brought like 3 or 4 people to one buff and just played for a kill, they would have killed whoever. Like they would have killed either Shiv or they would have killed the other person.
I was scared of shit, yeah.
Yeah. As you should have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, similar thing, right? Once again, how is this play being made? This play is being made like reactionary. So they did something. Now you guys are reacting. Now obviously this is probably a fine reaction. Like you guys should be able to win this fairly easily. I don't really think this should be an issue. Shiv is final boss. Unfortunately, they're going to get the urn, and they have momentum on every single lane. Basically, you guys went from having an overwhelming lead to all of a sudden, you know, just being behind like in every facet, even including kills. Now, luckily, you are the raid boss on Shiv here. Oh wait, I see. Right, you trolled your skill build, but you should definitely max ult before maxing knives.
Okay.
If you have max ult there, you just like kill everyone.
Yeah.
That shit makes Shiv very, very powerful.
This entire game, me using Vindicta, I just sit in the mid lane the entire time. I don't think I actually.
Okay, wait, here we go. There's a kill.
Side at all.
Okay, you guys got a kill. That's good. Yeah, maybe we should watch. We should watch probably the playmakers because like I'm not sure how you're. Okay. So on Lash, you finally are gonna hit your power spike. Okay, so let's talk a little bit here. Okay. So this is like a very, very pivotal moment of the game. You guys have 2 kills. You're down a little bit, but this is kind of your chance to equalize it, right? Because you've got a lot of momentum. Now here in this situation, what you don't want to do is send like 6 people to this Guardian. What you do want to do is most likely have 3 or 4 people push this Guardian while, you know, maybe 2 people pressure something else at the same time, right? And you essentially want to try to like spread them out a little bit. Because if you all go to the Guardian, they can all show up. So you have to like spread out a little bit. Now we'll see what you do here. But to me, this kind of looks like you guys are dedicating maybe a little bit too many resources to this. Where Lash could be mid, for example, right? Or anybody else. And then you, like Vindicta and Lash, could be also pressuring this pocket, right? But as you can see, getting that one Guardian, you gave up all pressure in every lane on the entire map. Except that one Guardian lane, obviously, but you gave up pressure on the other lanes. Now, not the end of the world, but look at the efficiency, right? You guys got that Guardian, but you didn't close the gap at all, and that's because you guys were sharing souls 5 ways when you didn't need to. So you have to be careful of overstacking. As much as people say it's like a deathball meta or whatever, deathballing is not that good unless you need to. Here we'll see what happens, but basically if this is a stalemate, what I'd be looking is like, okay, who can we make plays around, right? You can make plays around Monkril, you can make plays around Vindicta. So on those heroes that can make plays, you should basically look to play around your strong heroes and try to kind of bait them, right? So I wouldn't really want to have my Vindicta just sit mid like this. The ideal case for Vindicta is somebody else is on the wave, and if someone goes on that person, Vindicta just, you know, flies out of nowhere, boom, stake, you know, stake, alchemical fire, etc. Because here you're rich on Vindicta, but you're rich from like farming all the camps, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess is like, I mean, you want to be efficient, so I'm not like super upset about that, but at the same time, like Vindicta should like, ideally as Vindicta, you almost never want to farm a camp. You almost always want to try to make things happen.
Okay. So would you say she stays near jungle more rather than just lanes? Like waits for people to show up in lane? Or
yeah, so depending, basically you need to try to like set up plays with yourself, with your team, right? So basically the way that it goes is you have to think, okay, who's strong on my team, who's strong on their team, and then like, you know, who do we want to like kill essentially, right? So there's a bunch of factors into it. Who has their ultimate, who doesn't have their ultimate, who wants to fight, who doesn't want to fight, etc., etc. So for example here, your Shiv, first of all, this hero is broken. Second of all, he's very strong, right? So
oh yeah, he's
you're very, very happy to like fight around this guy, okay? So if your Shiv is ever in a lane aggressively, you'd be like, hey, you know, maybe we can go on this guy or we can go on that guy, and then you just kind of chill, and then the moment the enemy shows up on the wave, you're like, okay, I think he's going to show up on this wave, right? So a very like standard play is like you bait the wave. And if you watch my stream a lot, you may have seen me do this in the past where I'm like, hey, Infernus is going to go for this next wave, I think we can go on him, right? And so you kind of like, you have to try to predict a little bit what's going to happen on the map. You have to try to keep in mind where everybody is positioned, right? And try to create a very small window of opportunity of like 30 seconds where you have a numbers advantage on a wave, right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
here, for example, looking at the mini map, it's a similar situation. Buffs and Urn are about to spawn, right? They're going to spawn in 8 seconds because the clock is 15 seconds behind. They're about to spawn. And if you look at you guys' positioning on the map, you're like spread completely evenly, right? Now, here's a question for you guys. What happens if they send 4 people to the left side of the map? This is not a trick question, by the way. Just
we get pushed like hard, and someone could easily die. Whoever's on that lane.
It's very likely one of you dies, right? If you have a 4v3 and they send 4 people, if they send 4 people to the left buff, which they very well could right now, you don't know where they are. If they send 4 people to the left buff, one of you dies almost certainly. It's very likely, right? Unless they can't catch you for whatever reason. But, you know, they have Holiday, they have Haze, like they have catch, right? So they can probably kill you. So what happens if they send 4 people to the right side? Same thing, right? I don't know. Did we talk about the notion of strong side, weak side last time we coached?
You talked about.
I think we did, but
too,
okay,
but not like strong
yeah.
side, weak side.
Sure. Okay. So like here, this is like very important, right? At the end of the day, you guys are going to want to stack one side. You want to do, most of the time, you're going to want to do like a 4-2 split. Now you could do 5-1 depending. But if you think about it, you're always kind of like, you always have the opportunity of like 5-1 in the sense that even if you're doing a 4-2, where let's say you have one person mid, one person in the lane, and then four people on the side where the buff is going to spawn, technically it's still a 5-1 because Mirage can show up at any time with his ult, right? So you can instantly create a numbers advantage with Mirage. That's kind of why Mirage is so strong. Anyhow, all this to say that basically the way you guys are positioned is very, very punishable. Now, if we look at their positioning, they're doing the same mistake, which means that most teams in this tournament are going to be doing the same mistake. Now, if you guys take advantage of that, then you can very easily like create opportunities where, you know, you create like a numbers advantage on a buff, right? But if you look here, they're just giving you guys this buff. They're taking the other buff, but like they were really in no business to get, like, you know, it was just random. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like they got the buff where they had the most people. They just like gave one up and they just took the other. But like they had 3 people on both sides, and so did you guys. So it's just like it's really random essentially. Okay, so they're going to your walker. Now you're gonna go behind them. This should be easy cleanup. Not warding ults. But you have leech, so you're kind of unkillable. If only you had max ult, then you could probably maybe kill that guy, but maybe not. He has rescue beam either way. Okay, so you guys drop the urn. I mean, this should be quite favorable for you guys. Oh wait, maybe you did have max urn. I just saw you max ult. I just saw you execute him again. I don't know.
I think it's like bugged.
Yeah, maybe bugged. Let me refresh it real quick. You know, you don't have max ult. Okay. I think you just dashed into him. You didn't execute him. Okay, so you guys get the urn. Once again, favorable position. We'll see what you do with it. Let me take a quick look at the build, see if anything super egregious is happening. The lasso happens. There's this whole fight. This is whatever. And this is kind of where like Deadlock becomes like hard to play, right? Is that at this point there is no like real like super clear objective, right? Like I wish I could tell you like, oh okay, this is exactly what you do at this stage of the game. But the reality is you have to create opportunities on the map. You have to get numbers advantage. You have to play around power spikes, right? For example, if I'm Lash here, I'm like, okay, I almost have a 6400 now. Whatever that 6400, maybe you buy 2 3200s as well, like depending on what you like. But I'd be like, okay, I'm really close to a power spike. Vindicta has 5,300 unspent. So definitely a bit of a blunder. I think you went back to base with 8k, and you probably just bought Superior cooldown.
I think so.
Okay. I would say a lot of the time, if you, I mean, obviously it depends, but if you can get a tier 4, it's extremely valuable. Now, obviously on Vindicta, I probably would have just went Echo Shard right away. Like if you could get Echo Shard instead of cooldown. Yeah. I would just basically, as a general rule of thumb, if you can get a tier 4, you should, most of the time. Obviously, there are exceptions. Sometimes it's better to get 2 3200s, right? But for example, on Mirage here, I'm like fairly confident you had like a bunch of money, like 8k. I guess we can't see because I'd have to rewind a little bit. But here you, okay, so you kind of trolled. I don't think Mirage is here, right?
No.
Yeah. So here in this situation, it's like you shouldn't buy Mercurial Magnum weighted shots. I would highly recommend just buying, you know, Ricochet. But essentially, like, it's kind of a similar idea across the board, right? Like the blunders are kind of similar. Shiv is doing a better job of it here where, you know, he had enough for tier 4s. He went Leech, Boundless. Now I do think that this game, you know, getting some anti-heal is like very, very mandatory for you guys. You guys do have a heal bane on Vindicta, so that's good, but I think another heal bane on the Shiv would be pretty good, just in case.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, like, you know, it gives you the opportunity to just heal off of kills, which Shiv is very good at with the multiple executes, although you don't have it maxed. Oh, this is tragic. Okay, this is a great double kill. This is fantastic. Now we'll see what you guys do with this.
I don't think we do anything.
We don't do anything.
Okay, so
we debate.
Yeah, I remember this specifically because nothing happens.
what do you guys think you should do?
Push a walker.
I think we can jump with Mirage and push the Sidewalker.
I feel like we could push blue there because we're all pretty high health.
If we're really on top of it, we can just all 5 run down into mid, but we'd have to like do that immediately or else we'd run out of the window.
Okay. So I personally think I personally think that you know you should go with the warden essentially. Not with the warden. Sorry, to the warden. One sec. Let me just message the other coaching session. One sec. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, in this situation, you guys basically, this is like using too many resources for something, right? So in this situation, like, I think mid boss is like very risky. You guys could do it, but technically, like, if the warden comes in with the dome and everything, it's a little risky. You don't have amazing ways of securing. You probably could get away with it, right? So mid boss is a decent option. Depends what you want to do. I would probably risk it for mid boss personally because I'm like, hey, you know, if you don't take any risk, you don't get any reward. So I'd probably be pretty happy to mid boss here. But like, if you don't want to mid boss, the second best option would probably be to, you know, go with this warden. Go to this warden and just push this walker, right? But you guys send too many people back to deal with the wave. Only one person needs to deal with this. In fact, Infernus was already there, right? So just let Infernus deal with the wave. Not all of you guys need to back up and, like, you know, get the positioning, right? This is not a pub. And here I don't know where you're going on Infernus, right? Because there's no way you're gonna make it. There's no way you're gonna make it to this walker in time to apply any like pressure that's worthy. And the thing with the sidewalkers is that they can just easily TP between both sidewalkers, right? So you need an insane amount of pressure in order to be able to get something if you're gonna do this. The Barrage TPs to you, right? But there's no chance that you guys are getting the sidewalker most likely because they're just gonna TP. Now mid could happen potentially. You have decent damage, but this is just like a way riskier decision, right? Like, technically, mid-boss would have been safer than this.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you guys just needed to commit to something. It doesn't really matter what. I mean, it does matter, but, like, the most important part was that you commit to something, right? You guys did end up getting a walker, but, like, we'll see if you pay anything for it. Looks like you'll be fine. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This walker is taking so much damage for this.
That's
But it's
happened
fine.
good amount of times, but
Yeah, this is... Oh, wait, okay. Well, that was a lot of damage. I was kind of surprised you got the kill. Alright, so you guys have another kill. You guys have a lot of pressure going. I believe that they just used some of their ults as well, so this would be probably a pretty good time to mid-boss. I know a lot of them are broken, so they don't have Warden ult. This would be a good time to mid-boss, right? Because now they don't have Warden ult, they don't have Kelvin ult. Those are the ults that you're most scared of. They do have Affliction, so you are a little bit scared, but as long as you spread out or you're careful of the pocket, it should be okay. Like, mid-boss would still be, like, a decent option, or, like, hunting them in their jungle would be another option. But essentially, like, you guys need to do something. You get the buffs. You get both buffs. But you guys are not making enough happen off of these picks, right? Like, when you have a pick, you have a big advantage. And here, like, you guys are just, like, not making something happen as a team, right? Once again, you've got two people that are pushing this walker. You two are doing who knows what. You guys are farming.
we got the
Right.
buff, so we were just together.
Yeah. You got the buff, and then you went to farm. I mean, you should at least, like, go to the wave or something.
Yes.
Mo and Krill is, like... I think he was I think you got the buff, and then you're just like, basically, you guys know your team's about to get the buff. You're super aggressive here, so you need to be a little bit careful. Mirage here goes back to base, which is fine. He's very hurt, so that's okay. It's just that you guys are like aren't applying aggression as a team. Oh boy. One sec.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. We're loading back. We're gonna load back into that.
It was like, what, 25 minutes?
Yeah. It was exactly 25:30, I believe. Okay. Obviously, this is over aggressive here. Even though you're like super fed on Infernus here, there's a pretty high likelihood that you die. Yep, you are dead. You guys are probably all dead actually, and then it's mid boss for them.
Yeah, this is about the time when that whole
Actually,
switch
only-
happened. Like, we were pretty even.
Yeah.
Or soon after this, because it was 30 minutes or so.
Yeah. I mean, you lose two. No, like, here, this should be mid-boss for them 100%. He has no way to stop it. Now, they're probably not going to do mid-boss. I just have a feeling. 'Cause both of you guys were a little bit too afraid to do mid-boss here. But like they should 100% do mid boss. Like I'm giving you, you know, if they're watching, guys, you got to do mid boss here. But also for you guys, if you're ever in this situation, like please do mid boss, right? That is like the freest mid boss, because look at what you guys have, right? You have, sure, you have Vindicta who can do some damage, but at the end of the day, it's going to be very hard for you to stop them. They have Dome, so they can even reset, right? So even if you do some poke damage, they can just heal up. They have a lot of healing on their Kelvin. So there's no way that you can possibly stop them. And getting the urn is like, you know, it's just not going to win the game. Like mid boss here applies so much more pressure than the urn. Regardless, now it's anyone's game. We'll see kind of what you guys do. So your walker is under attack here on the side. Oh man.
Oh.
Lucky. Okay, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, they use Dome, I guess. Or maybe you're alive. Now you're dead as hell. Right? Now they use Warden ult. Okay, let me get on some different POVs here. I feel like you guys should be able to like clean this up. Okay, so here you're like, you want the haze.
Yeah, actually get that one.
I mean, yeah, this is quite tunnel visioning. Because like everybody else is like also quite hurt, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. But just generally, like in fights, for example, this game, did you guys have like, do you guys ever talk about, okay, how do we need to, like, what is our engage?
I think we discuss it, like, I think we, like, discuss it in, like, the drafting part, like, and making sure that, like, we have it. We've been trying to do better and, like, more active when we have, like, a Mo and a Holiday. Because I know we had issues in the past with, like, being active with them. Like, we've been, like, doing pubs and, like, you know, trying to, like, do more, like, hunting party stuff and, like, scrims where we actually, like, or say, all right, we're going to use this. So we've tried to, like, we're trying to work on that. But we need to do that more. Like, that needs to be, like, you know, think about it in the game more actually.
Yeah. So like, for example, right here, you know, we'll do this exercise. I'll just pause real quick. So I guess I want you guys to describe to me, like, how does an ideal fight happen? Like, what is it? What are the,
or like a tether?
Okay. So it starts with a grab, a tether. Like what? What's the order? Like, is there someone specific you guys want to go on? Like, do you guys need to be afraid of specific people? Like, kind of tell me like what, you know, what you're considering.
I mean, obviously we were not thinking that in depth during this game.
Sure.
But now as an exercise, I mean, obviously, like damn, 27. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to shut down like the haze, right? Like that's gonna be like.
I'd probably say someone like the Kelvin over there.
Also gotta watch for the Warden ult.
Okay. There's a lot of factors. So it kind of looks like you guys, even now, even when I'm giving you as an exercise, you're not really sure of like what the variables to consider are, right? So, okay, so here's the thing. You look at their comp, you look at your comp, and it's like, okay, if their win conditions for a fight, right? And you need to understand their win conditions first before you can understand how to play, right? So they have ult Warden and they have Affliction, right? If they hit these ultimates on a lot of people, you will probably lose the fight. So now you have two options. One is you kite the Warden. Two is somehow you itemize in a way where you can kill him, right? So first things first, you guys, you know, Mirage should really have toxic bullets on top of Ricochet, just because of how much healing they have. I know that you have it already on Infernus, right? But having it on two people really would not hurt at all here. Now, you guys need to understand, if you get in the dome, it's going to be tough as well. But the dome is a little bit of a, you know, more of an afterthought, right? So taking all that into account, it's like, okay, in an ideal fight, we need to like somehow kite the Warden ult or burst him, right? There's one option or the other. You guys need to make sure that you're not too grouped in these fights, right? To the point where you're going to get hit by their AoE abilities. They have a lot of AoE in these fights. Right? So you need to make sure that you're a little bit more spread out. Now, as far as who you guys focus, it's kind of like, okay, your Mirage and Infernus are going to be in the back line, right? Shiv and Mo are going to be like more frontline. So your role here as Mo is like, you need to figure out, okay, who do I need to grab, if anyone? Now, in a lot of situations here, if you grab someone, you might get just killed very quickly. So here you also need to understand like how you need to itemize defensively, right? For example, if you look at them, right? And if we look, so it's 28 minutes, 1 sec. We're just gonna look at something. Let's look at the damage breakdown that they have, right? So their holiday did 43k damage. Their pocket did 37k. So these are the most damage. And within the game, you could have pretty easily pressed tab and just saw okay, almost all of their heroes are spirit. They have Haze, who's not spirit. That's literally the only hero that they have that is not spirit damage. How many of you guys have spirit resilience?
I don't think any
I
of
think
us.
zero.
Maybe
I
one
don't think
person.
any of us.
Nope.
You guys have 0 spirit resiliences, right? That's a huge issue. Like,
Yeah.
do they have any shred? Let me look. They don't have any shred. They do not have a single spirit rend or mystic vuln or anything like that. I mean, okay, technically they have escalating, but like escalating is not really a lot of shred, right? It's like, yeah, it's good on Calico when you have
Oh,
Scourge
no,
and
yeah,
shit.
because you have Scorn. Never mind.
Yeah, you have Scourge and anyway. So you have to take into account like, okay, who does a lot of damage on their team? How do we need to itemize in order to be able to like either kite it or tank it, right? If you guys had multiple spirit resiliences, especially Shiv is a very, very good at abusing those items. But like all of you guys should have had like 4 or 5 spirit resiliences this game. Because the item is 1, really strong, and 2, like it would have fucked their team really bad. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about now. I think we were a little bit past that. I think we were like kind of here. And then I think there was like the fight that happened, and then you guys chased. Yeah, we were. Yeah, you were a little bit past here.
I got a pick on pocket, luckily in mid, but that was the only reason we got a second kill. In that actual fight, we only got 1.
Yeah.
So I guess we traded in that fight.
Basically, the ideal fight for me, like every hero kind of needs to think about, okay, what do I need to do? So on Mo and Krill, for example, this game, if you guys look, you don't really have a lot of frontline, right? So on Mo and Krill, you need to itemize more frontline than you do pick this game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to like tank. You need to be able to fucking live for a while. So I'd be like buying whatever I need to tank on Mo and Krill. On Shiv, it's going to be a little bit the same. Like, you need to be pretty tanky, because Shiv and Mo and Krill are basically going to need to be there and take the brunt force of the damage. So you guys need to be able to, like, tank a lot of damage. On Lash, my main job here this game would be like, okay, I need to basically bait. Ideally, I want them to use their abilities. Like, ideally, I want Dome to be used, and then I can go in and look for a big ult. And if I get a big ult, then we should be able to clean them up easily, because you guys have a fuck ton of damage, right? Imagine if you get a Lash ult into a Vindicta tether, everyone dies. Like, instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, so here on Shiv, like I'd basically just buy I would just buy Spirit Resilience, but obviously we know that's not happening. So here I would not buy Return Fire because you know I would not buy Return Fire because I have 1 hero that's shooting and she did no damage.
Yeah, no, so true.
I mean, if you guys just looked at your you know, incoming damage or whatever, you would have looked and you would have seen, okay, I'm just taking spirit damage. So don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going in. Great pick on the Warden. I mean, this could be mid-boss angle. I'm thinking it's going to be a mid-boss surely, right?
I think we try it. If my memory serves correctly.
Okay, how the fuck does this holiday live? There's no shot. Okay, wait, what? Wait, what? What just happened? One sec.
Ran down Mirage.
No. These are I just don't understand what's going on. Okay, I need to rewind a little bit because like.
I don't.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Okay, so here on Shiv, you're pushing this wave
or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what side Earn's on. Like I don't know.
Okay, I mean this is fine. You guys are doing this thing. You guys are being aggressive, right? If I'm you on Shiv, like I would be. At this point, I'm guessing that you probably saw some people on this wave, right? So there'd be nothing wrong with you.
This from Mirage's perspective, and Calico showed up, so he can match Calico. That's fine.
Right.
And
okay.
then Haze shows up, and he's just run down in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's probably what I would do if I was them as well. Okay, but this is like a positioning thing. Because like here, you should never be like that far up as Mirage in this situation. Okay, so this is just like a general lesson for everybody, even people watching. If the core of your team is making a play elsewhere, right? There's basically, the enemy has 2 options. The enemy team has 2 options. 1 is they respond to that play, or 2 is they look for a play somewhere else, right? So if you're not part of the core of the team that's making the play, you need to play like unbelievably safe. Because here on Mirage, it's like either they're responding to the play you guys are making mid, or they're going on Mirage. There is no other play. And Mirage only sees like 2 people, right? So there's a bunch of people missing still. So Just needed to be a little further back. And even when you see the haze, you definitely... Oh, you have debuff remover too. Oh well. Definitely some execution things that could have happened better. Then Shiv, I mean, I feel like on Shiv you just TP there, and you guys should be happy to fight them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this should be free kills. Okay. I'm down. Alright, mid-boss.
Okay, so we're all running mid boss.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Why are you guys so in love with this Mercurial Magnum item, by the way?
I have no idea.
I'm seeing 2 Mercurial Magnums.
I think this is where a mid boss where everything goes wrong. I don't know if it's pocket. I think maybe comes in. Yeah, I think we get 5 mana afflicted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Stay, and eventually they just sandwich us.
Oh god.
So much damage.
Like 4 people.
Oh god.
It was the dome, that's right.
That too.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
rewind a little bit because
Oh, man.
generally this can be at least somewhat avoided. Okay, so in this situation here, it's very obvious that the pocket is going to try to afflict, right? You guys probably even called it, I'm assuming. Thank you.
I
I don't
think
think so,
we knew
honestly.
that Holiday and Pocket
Yeah.
were up there because they were just throwing barrels at us.
No one went up.
Yeah,
to
sorry,
the
one
top.
sec.
Yeah,
My
no one
wife was-
went up there, and we didn't spread out.
Yeah. So basically, you guys are going to know it's happening, right? And so Lash would be the best person to deal with it, or Vindicta. But just having someone that's like on anti-pocket duty and also being more spread out, right? So if you guys are just all on top of it, it just goes afflicts all of you. It's pretty much cooked. And he's even showing on the wave, so you guys know that he's there. So Lash should just be kind of ready to just silence wave. We'll watch from the Lash POV here. This Holiday is just also dumping barrels. I mean, the moment that Holiday shows there, you guys need to stop doing mid. Like, basically, the moment that she shows, even before the affliction, well, you guys just need to, like, zone her, right? Because if you guys... What does the Holiday want you to do in this situation? Like, I'm going to watch from the Holiday's POV, and you guys are going to look like literal, like, little babies to her. Like she is, like, super thrilled. She's like, oh my god. She's like, these guys are so noob.
Free? For free.
Like, like, this is what she wants. You guys realize you're giving her exactly what they want right now. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just stop the mid boss for a sec, they're still down 3, right? For like a million years. If you guys just go kill them, 6v3. Yeah, exactly. She's like this. I mean, she probably just dealt like 500 million damage there. I mean, okay, that's obviously bugged. That's obviously she didn't do 14,000 damage. It's a replay bug because we like rewinded and shit. But she did a lot of damage, I'm sure. Probably not that much, but definitely like a few thousand. Yeah. Somehow you guys got the mid boss.
But we're like 70 seconds down because everyone died before the mid boss rejuvenator hit.
It's like kind of crazy that you guys got the mid boss. It's not as disastrous since you guys got it because they're not going to be able to do as much. But yeah, obviously your respawn timers are a little long, which obviously we can't see because the thing is broken.
I think if you like go back 10 seconds, it'll reset it.
Yeah, but at this point we're too committed. All right, so you lose the mid walker. You're gonna lose the urn, and at this point you're down probably like 30k, unfortunately. But you do still have mid boss, right? And a lot of you guys still have mid boss, so you technically have like a window of opportunity where you're gonna have an advantage. Right now, trading any kill would be good, right? Oh boy. Okay, thank God she misses. Dead less. Okay, so you guys should speed here. I mean, this Holiday is kind of a little bit out of position, but she might be fine. You guys should basically look to like force something, right? So Mirage should deal with like the waves, and you guys should look as a hit squad and just try to get any pick that you can. Mirage should be dealing with the wave at your base right now, because you can TP.
Instead, we said 2 back.
Yeah, you guys should definitely not back here. You have to use this rejuve to get back into the game. If you don't use this rejuve to get back into the game, it's gonna be tough. Now, obviously, they might not give it to you easily, right? Like they're gonna know you're gonna look for stuff, but that's why you have to like. You guys have to look in their jungle, right? And you have to not show on waves too much, and you guys have to kind of like make them fear. So if you can steal their jungle, that's pretty good. And then the best thing to happen is you can get one or two picks, right? You guys are essentially fine, even if you trade 2 kills, that you kill 2 of them and 3 of you die. If the people that die have rejuv, your guys are happy with that. Because then you'll be able to be on the map more active for a little bit more time. Like, kind of the way you guys are playing right now, it's like, in this situation, you're not taking any risk. You kind of have to, like, use the only advantage that you have, which is the rejuv advantage, and try to make something happen, right? But here on Mirage, like, you need to, like, create pressure in this lane. You guys need to go look together in their jungle, try to make something happen at all. And, like, you know, chances are, it might not work out. And at this point, you're down 20k, so it's going to be tough. You can still win fights. But I think when you have rejuv, you should definitely be willing to, like, at least take a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, because, like, why, if not now, then when? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because now you don't have rejuv anymore. And now it's like, okay, well, now you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we aren't great at like parsing out our advantage and how to best utilize it. Like we have picks, don't do anything with them. We have rejuve, don't do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just very passive in general. But like the good news is that, you know, this is a problem that affects a lot of the teams. And so, yeah, like, you know, it's not just you guys. And if you guys can figure it out, that'll give you a big advantage over the other teams, right? Because a lot of the other teams are struggling with that too. Remember when they got a bunch of picks that they didn't go mid boss earlier.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier about how next time we scrim, we should focus on like one thing at a time, and I think this should be like a primary focus.
Yeah, converting.
They're doing things.
Oh, this is disastrous.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
I have physical pain.
Next time.
Okay, well, to be honest, you're kind of like doing this to yourself by playing Mo without any way to like catch them.
Yeah, I didn't.
No Phantom Strike, no Warp Zone, no nothing. So, like, you just cannot catch them. You are just useless, basically. So yeah, you definitely want to buy some catch items on Mo. The hero is strong. You want to buy some catch and you want to buy some tank. So you might want to revisit some of the items that you're buying. You're playing pub Mo, to be honest with you. You're playing Mo as like you would play in a pub where you have Torment, Pulse, Alk Fire, and you're trying to like, oh, I'm gonna go solo kill people with my ult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't really need to do that here. You guys have plenty of damage if you just play together. So now obviously the game is over at this point. There is no coming back anymore. You guys are down 50k. You're all dead. You know, if you came back from this, I'd be like, okay, well, they threw, or you guys are just like goated at fighting because there's no chance you guys should be able to come back here.
We get 6-man lash hole into base.
Do you actually?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I think they dropped.
I was gonna watch that. I was gonna watch that if you actually did, because otherwise,
it would've been
okay. Yeah, I would have. Okay, so let me get the whiteboard out and let's basically give you guys a few points so that you guys can work on. Give me a sec. Okay, so I will share my screen on the whiteboard in just a sec. Also, I will show it on stream. Worry not. Okay. Boom. Okay. You guys see my screen? Okay. Okay. So you guys just have a few days, right, before the final day of the tournament. Now, of course, if you guys want to, you know, you'll be able to join the league after, should you guys choose to stick together and whatever. We can, you know, cross that bridge when we get there. So it's not like the final day that you guys are playing together, but still, for this specific tournament, you only have a few days. So what that means is that you should really try to focus your energy on a few things. So, basically, I'm going to try to limit it to 3 most important action items. And the reason why 3 is so you guys can kind of break them down and try to be like, okay, tonight we're going to work on this, tonight we're going to work on that, and then maybe you know, work on one last thing before you can get there. So first action item is always think about what advantage you have on the map. I'm keeping this one vague and try to act on it. So I'm going to keep this one vague, but I'm going to give a couple of examples. Favorable 2v2 situation where you are up a few thousand souls on them, right? So we saw that at the beginning of the game. Shivan and Furnace, you guys are up a shit ton on them. You're being aggressive, but you need to be just a little bit more aggressive and be aggressive together, right? You guys probably didn't communicate. Like, if I were you, I would communicate, hey, you know, we're up a lot. We should not let these guys farm. I'm assuming it was probably not communicated because you guys were not playing like it was communicated. Right. Yeah. Strong timing. They don't. Their big team fight bolts are down, etc. Basically, these are just a bunch of examples of like, hey, you know, these are advantages you can have. You might have rejuv even though you're down 20k. You might be even on souls, but they just used Warden ult and Kelvin ult and they fucked up and they didn't get anything out of it. And now you have, you know, a 60-second timing where technically any fight would be good, right? So you look for something. So just try to always think about what your advantage is if you have one, and, you know, really like try to focus on that and execute on it. Now, second thing is think about your role in the game individually. So I think a lot of you guys don't really spend enough time thinking about what your hero needs to accomplish individually in the game. Like in the greater picture, if that makes sense, right? For example, if I am playing Mo and Krill or Vindicta, it's important that you understand that, okay, Vindicta, your role is to set up plays, be active, and get kills for your team. And essentially, you want to be a disable bot, right? Your role is to like disable them and win teams for your win fights for your team. It's not really to you know, farm or anything like that, right? So if you're farming, that should be because there really is no other option, right? You should feel sad farming. You should be crying. No, I'm just kidding. But like, you know, you should feel like something is wrong if you're farming, right? You should be like, okay, I really don't want to do this. Like, this is like last resort because nothing is happening. I have no choice. Similarly, on Mo and Krill, you should be like, okay, in these fights, here's the way that I need, here's what my team needs from me, right? This hero is really problematic, so I'm going to try to basically itemize in a way where I can try to nullify this specific hero. Mo is really good at nullifying specific heroes and itemizing for that. You know, on Shiv, I'd be like, okay, my team in this game, there's not a lot of frontline. It's me and Mo, so I need to itemize in a way where, hey, I can kind of be in the front line. So I would have liked to see you go items like Warpstone, like Spirit Resilience, items like that. You know, Spirit Resilience, Warpstone, debuff remover, just items that allow you to kind of like be in there and soak up some damage and also deal damage. Also, like, yeah. So just think about your role in the game and try to think, okay, why are we picking this hero? And when you're drafting, also think about it, right? At the end of the draft, try to be like, okay, try to think, what's my role in this comp? Am I playing pick? Am I playing this? Am I playing that, right? So, yeah. And then the last thing is, you know, basically like make plays as a team and create numbers advantages on the map. Basically strong side, weak side, kind of a little bit. So, you know, the idea that, like, let's say anytime that a buff spawns, right? This is, let's say the map is this. There's always kind of going to be that line across, right? And let's say that I'm going to do the buffs. I'm going to make them blue. Whoops. I'm going to make the buffs blue. You know, the buffs are, one buff is here, the other buff is here. You should basically always have one side where you're strong and one side where you're weak for buffs, right? So the line is kind of going to move like this. So let's say that your Mirage is going to be the red dot here. So your Mirage should be like passive. You have maybe one person holding mid, and then you have, you know, 4 people that are going to be playing aggressive here. And you guys don't necessarily have to show your cards, right? Part of the deadlock is like information warfare. You're trying to like not show on waves unless you have to, right? If you guys don't need 3 people to clear a wave a lot of the time. You're doing that a lot where you're sending way too many people to do something. You guys need to value information a lot more. Go on waves less as a bunch of people. You can still be in the area and get the souls without showing. If you don't shoot the troopers, you won't show. So don't shoot the troopers unless you have to, or it's beneficial to your team. And then, you know, stack on this buff. And if you think that they're also coming for this buff, you know, take the high ground, take positioning. And if you see anyone, go for them and make sure that the people on weak side, like let's say you have a 4-2 split, the people that are on the weaker side should be aware, hey, you know, we should not look for a play right now. We should play our lives. We have to be very careful. And in general, in the game, you guys should always kind of try to have a place on the map where you have some sort of numbers advantage. So if they miscalculate, they die. Rather than like chasing the ball. Does that make sense? Awesome. Any questions?
I did want to ask specifically for Vindicta, when you say get active,
Yep.
what would that be like positioning wise? Like, what's my mindset mid game? Let's say like it's that point where like you talked about how Deadlock's hard mode and we don't know what to do. Like, where is she? Like, not exactly, but like generally.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sharing my screen again in Deadlock, so I'll show you a little bit what I mean, right? But basically, the way that I see Vindicta is I see her as a little bit of a surprise element. So Vindicta is, when you have like Echo Shard and stuff, you're a great team fighter, but you're also quite good at like catching people out, because if you have just even Mystic Expansion and Max Tether, right? I'll kind of show you what I mean, but basically, let's say that you're mid lane, right? Let's just do a quick little example. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So let's say that I'm mid lane. Okay, I'm stuck. Okay, I have to catch a wave real quick. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll go like this. And then once I've killed the wave, I'd be like, okay, I can set up here. And I know, I have a feeling like, okay, we just pushed the right lane, right? I have a feeling someone might show on this wave. And so I'll tell my Infernus, okay, yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to push this lane. We can get set up on this guy, right? So I'll just hide for a little bit. And I'll be like, okay, if he shows, we're going to go on him. I'll tell my Infernus, okay, if he shows, we're going to go on him. And then the moment he shows, I'll basically just like, let's say that I had, you know, some items like Alk Fire and stuff that you would need. I'd basically just like go on him, instantly stake Alk Fire, set it up, right, and get the kill. That makes sense? Basically the surprise element. You're baiting the wave, you're trying to predict what they're going to do, so you're like, okay, we just pushed this wave, chances are they're going to respond to it. We have good pressure on the other side of the map as well, so they have to respond to that. So it's unlike, I see like 3 people, so it's unlikely that they respond to this with a bunch of people. So we're just going to, you know, I'm just going to bait this wave. If he doesn't show, okay, fine, I'll reset. But you kind of never set yourself up for a situation like that.
Okay, so that's one thing I've never done, is looked really at pushed up waves, like our pushed up waves. I've never looked at those as a place to go. Is that like just the most common way you'd say to get plays? Well,
there's 2 ways. One is that, and then the other way is like to invade their jungle, right? So for example, here, let's say your mid lane and your right lane are pushed. That means, let's say they're on their side, right? That means that this whole area is essentially like, you guys can invade it, right? So if you have people here, you might be able to invade it, and you might see, oh, I hear someone in their jungle, let's go on him, you know? That's the kind of the other play. Waves are just like an instrument, really. Like, you have to push waves, they're kind of like chores. You have to do them, but they unlock things for you to be able to do things on the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, baiting waves is very, very effective. You just need to kind of like, it is kind of hard because you need to have a fair amount of Deadlock knowledge, because you need to try to predict what they're going to do, right? How they're going to respond. So it's all about pattern recognition. So if you do it enough times and you look, you'll be like, okay, in these situations, people tend to respond to the side lanes by one person, right? You'll just kind of know, like, okay, I see 3 mid, I see 1 in the side lane. It's very likely this person is alone, so if we 2v1 him, we should be able to have pressure. And then it's important that while you do that, right, your team is also applying pressure on the other waves and trying to, like, basically create chaos a little bit so that they can't respond to your play with 6 people. Because if only 2 people on your team are being aggressive at all, then they'll just respond to them with everyone, they'll kill them, and then they'll just, like, you know, do mid boss or something.
Okay. I see. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions?
I do actually have one more question, because this is something I think that comes up a lot in like in our games.
Yep.
Both like the scrims and the pubs, right? Where sometimes there will be like right toward the end of the laning phase, some people will start to roam, and there will be like 3 people on one lane, and then the other team will bring someone over, and then it's like 3v3, and then like more people will come over, and then it's like
the ARAM,
people on each, like sitting on that lane.
That's a classic.
And it's like a deadlock, like a stalemate, where no one can push, but it feels bad to leave, and I always feel like we don't really know like what to do in that situation, because we're just losing money.
It should be a very simple. Question, and the question should be, do we benefit from this situation, right? And the way to answer that is, can we win this fight? So if it's 4v4, but you're like, hey, I think that we can take this fight because, I don't know, I've got Dynamo ult or I've got Warden ult, let's fight them, right? Let's take this fight. This is good for us. Then that's fine. If it's 4v4 and you don't really see a clear way to progress, it's just like a full stalemate and you don't really have any advantage over them, you don't have a big ultimate or anything that you can use to kind of sway it in your favor, then you should not do it. And what you should do is just leave 1 or 2 people there that can stall and essentially like make plays happen elsewhere. So you can always trade things, right? And you always kind of want to be in the driver's seat if possible, especially in this elo, because being in the driver's seat and making plays happen So this game, for example, you guys were 100% reactive. If you make plays happen, it's much, much easier to force the enemy to make mistakes, right? Because when you think about it, when you make plays happen, you're in control. And when you're in control, they need to make the mistakes. When you're responding, it's a lot easier to make mistakes. And like, not send enough people to a play or send too many people to a play and things like that. And especially at this level, people will make those mistakes very, very consistently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're ever stuck in a 4v4 and you don't see a clear way to end it, to like win it, just like peace out. It's okay if you lose a tower, especially if it's just a guardian. Like a guardian is literally worth like 1,000 souls. It's like actually like irrelevant.
Okay, yeah.
Like obviously the flex slot matter, but like it's not worth sacrificing everyone's game. It's just a guardian. Like there's plenty of opportunities for counterplay around the map. Any other questions?
Yeah, what about like the value of like final guardian like flex slot? Because sometimes like there's awkward scenarios where like the guardian's like half, and like if you had some people on it, you could probably delay the flex slot. Or should I not even like think about that? Like, you know, if guardians are like not that valuable. Like,
I mean, obviously the flex slot guardian is pretty valuable. Like if you're ahead, you don't want to give him the flex slot for free. But it's just like, you know, those are two extremes, right? What I mean is like if you're a 4v4, like the guardian is not so valuable that you should gimp your entire game for it, but at the same time it is a valuable resource in the sense that you don't want to just give them a flex slot, right? And if you have an advantage and you like suffocate them out of a flex slot and they can never get a flex slot, the game at some point is going to feel unplayable for them. So it's very good to force them to not have a flex slot, but it's just don't ruin your game for it. If it makes sense, if you guys are able to defend it, you should not give it up for free. But if you have to give it up, it's not the end of the world either. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
You have to be okay with sometimes, hey, you can't defend everything. Like, they're gonna make shit happen, and you just have to recognize, okay, we can't defend this. What can we do? And that's very important as a team. Is like you guys need to basically be very like confident. If you want to be a good team, you need to be very confident when things are happening. Like, do we contest this or not? Right? Whenever the urn is picked up, for example, the first decision you guys should make is, hey, do we contest this urn or not, right? That's the first decision that should be made within like a few seconds. So you guys, and what I say is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Generally, if something doesn't feel great, just don't do it. Like if you're like, I don't know, this is really bad, we're not in position, I don't have my ultimate, we don't have like whatever, like just look for counterplay instantly. This game is not so like especially at this level, the game is not so straightforward that if you just like give up an objective, you instantly lose. There's a lot of opportunities for like, okay, we're gonna go counterplay here. Okay, we're giving up the urn. If you give up the urn, then you instantly know that every lane that isn't the urn, you guys can look for plays in, right? Because you're likely to be at a numbers advantage.
Yeah, just trying to make stuff out of something, even if it's bad. Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah, so always just look for counterplay. If you can't, go for it. If you can't, for whatever reason, go for it. Just don't like force it at all costs. Don't feel like, oh man, you know, we have to go to this urn or we have to defend this guardian. It's like, okay, we can't. Good teams are going to recognize when they can't do something, and then they're going to look immediately for an alternative. Okay, how can we get the most value out of this shitty situation?
Yeah.
That kind of fits with the strong side, weak side sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you know, like, if you know you're not going to fight the urn, you're going to put like 1 or 2 people on urn side. You're not going to put 4. And then you're going to look for a play on the other side, for example. That's a great example, right? But generally, there's always kind of that yin and yang, right? You guys are definitely, like, just not playing that side of deadlock right now.
Yeah, not at all. I can definitely tell there's just so many points where we have no idea what we're doing. And we just don't think about, like... We don't think about plays. So I think that's just the main thing.
Yeah. And try to think about individually, like, you know, when you're strong, right? So that's why I said, like, think about your role in the game. Is like, on Vindicta, the moment you get, for example, Alk Fire, it's like, hey, I'm pretty strong right now. I have Alk Fire. I can make plays happen, right? The moment I get that, it's like, okay, I don't really want to be in, like, farming mode. I want to be in, like, fighting mode. On Lash, it's like, okay, I get this item. Like, on Lash, for example, for me, the way that I've been playing Lash recently, I'm not saying this is the only way, but I max Slam. So I go 2 points Flog, and then I max Slam. And then I'm like, okay, if I have max Slam, Majestic Leap, I'm like really strong. So at that point, I'm like more than happy to like show up to fights, and I can do 700 damage with my Slam, you know.
Yeah, just playing around like the power spikes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, power spikes is also something we haven't talked about. So
yeah, we haven't really done like callouts for that at all.
Yeah. I mean, all you need to do is should be very simple. It should just be like I'm really strong right now, or I want to fight. Every time you hit a power spike, you should think to yourself, I want to fight right now, because you have a window of opportunity, and so you should look to make a fight happen, and you should play with other people on your team that want to make fight happens. You know, like if you have a Vindicta, if you have a Mo and Krill, like these heroes are the ones that want to make fights happen, not the Mirage, right? So understand which heroes want to make stuff happen and which don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I have some questions about draft.
Yep.
So, right now our current draft philosophy has been 7 Warden, and then like less so, but still kind of Geist, Infernus, Haze are like going to be the big carries that we center our comp around, and we want to draft 1 or 2 of those first, and like maybe ban one of them so the other team can't take it, and then like we kind of fill in the rest of our team spots behind that. But it gets tricky because a lot of our players have very overlapping pools. So like Dalt is our player who plays basically all of those. So he always gets drafted first, basically.
Okay.
But then like me, kind of Beef, kind of Outlaw overlap a bit. So when we're trying to fill out our back slots, sometimes like we don't have a player or like a hero available that we would like.
Okay. I would say for the bottom 3 picks, it doesn't actually really matter that much. Like a lot of the time, like you should just pick Comfort bottom 3, even if it doesn't look that good. Like at this level, it like frankly doesn't matter, you know. So just pick Comfort bottom 3. Just make sure that you essentially like have like a few things that are sound in your draft, and try to pick according to what they pick. The traditional sense of like roles or whatever like doesn't really like need to be adhered to, if that makes sense, right? You guys don't necessarily need to check every box in a draft of like, oh, we have this, we have this, we have that. Obviously, it makes it a little bit easier if you do, but just take the Comfort. At the end of the day, that's like that's going to be the most important thing for sure, if you can stick to Comfort. And
that's good to know.
Because like Comfort is king. Like comfort is like, you don't want to be that guy that doesn't know what your power spikes are on your hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you don't even know, like it's...
we were like experimenting, and like it's probably just not worth it. We don't have the time either, honestly. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think you guys had time for experimentation. Like you basically had a week and a half. Now it's getting like kind of close. Now I'd basically be in like more try hard mode, and like, you know, basically practice what you think you're going to play in the tournament. And you need to have some backup plans. If you guys have a lot of overlapping pools, then you need to have like 1 or 2 pocket picks that like, okay, you know, and it's good for the pocket picks to be something that's like pretty low in draft priority at the moment, right? Something that most people don't pick, so that you don't have to worry about it getting picked too much.
All right.
All right. Any final questions, final thoughts, anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah,
I think I'm good.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so basically you guys have the tournament Saturday. Just make sure that you're really like, you know, you don't have any obligations from 2 p.m. onwards, because depending, like technically if you make it all the way, I don't know what seed you guys are. What seed are you guys? Do you remember?
11.
Okay. No worries. I mean, basically, the only reason I was asking is if you were top 4, you get a bye round. But yeah, you don't get a bye round. So if you make it all the way to the grand finals, for example, like that would be 4 series, right? So that could take quite some time. So like, make sure you don't have any plans. Yeah, exactly. When you make it to the grand finals. I mean, look, I'm just saying, the underdog stories have been very, very much alive in the previous tournaments. Like, number 1 seed has never won our tournaments yet.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's always like last Death Slam in NA, I think number 6 seed won. So like, you know, a lot of upsets.
11. Hey, time to make history.
Number 12, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We purposely went low so we can get that story.
Makes sense. But yeah, just make sure you don't have any plans that day, because like it's gonna be a lot of deadlock if you make it all the way. So, you know, be ready for that. Obviously, it's single elimination, right? So if you lose a single best of 3, you're out. So it could also just be like 1 series, but it has the potential to go all the way. And if it does go all the way, then you definitely don't want to be like, oh shit, I made plans and shit. Yeah.
I guess I did kind of have one more question, but it's about the slam, the league DSL.
Yep.
If we wanted to continue, but and I don't know what the others' opinions are, but if we want to continue and not everyone wants to, what happens then?
Yeah, so basically at that point we'll give the option to either you guys can like recruit players like within like your friends as long as they are within the rank range, right? Or we'll basically like look for people that either had signed up previously or something like that. Like we'll basically like reach out to people and see like, hey, anyone interested? Yeah.
Okay.
So one way or another we make it work. If not everybody's interested, that's totally fine. We've had like, you know, last time in our NA1 we had like I think one team fully didn't go into the league. So 7 out of 8 teams ended up in the league. And then out of those 7 teams, a few teams had like 1 or 2 changes to their roster. I think maybe 3 or 4 teams might have had a few changes to their roster.
Damn, that's still a good retention though. A lot of people.
Yeah.
In EU it was like, it was a lot more of a disaster. I think in EU there's like a lot more personality clash, and also it's a lot more like competitive. I don't know, the culture is just a little bit different, so we had a lot more difficulties with the EU. Yeah.
The league is going to be longer since there's more teams, right?
No, it's going to be same length. It's going to be 7, basically like the current league format that we have, so we might change it a little bit. Current league format is 7 weeks of league, and then basically the playoffs. The playoff, which is essentially like a tournament style event. Yeah, so essentially 8 weeks total, you could say. But yeah, like once we're there, we'll be happy to give you guys all the information necessary. And if some of you guys want to continue, some of you don't, we'll try to accommodate those who do. And it shouldn't really be an issue. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Good. I don't have any more questions. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Well, yeah, sorry about the power outage. Yeah, it's unlucky. But anyway, I wish you guys a very good night and good luck Saturday. I'll be cheering for you guys. And yeah, best of luck. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, we appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, chat. That was it. That's the coaching session. All right. African Pro says, is Death Heat Tournament EU included? Sorry guys, I haven't been paying attention to the chat because I've been focusing on giving them as much value as possible. As far as the tournament being EU included, so we have an EU division, but yeah, this one is North American only. But we have EU, so there will be more. Good coaching. Yeah, thank you, Maxzilla. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are interested in getting coaching of your own, exclamation point coaching, this is a little bit of a free sample, right? But yeah, exclamation point coaching. I can help you figure out your stuff, you know, book a session. It's only 30 USD. I mean, I guess only is a relative, right? If you live in another country, 30 USD might be a lot. Or even if you live in the US, 30 USD might be a lot to you. And that's completely reasonable, of course. So yeah, how to register for EU. So right now the event is not open for EU. Join the DDS Discord. Join this Discord in order to be able to register for the next one. Is there a for you? There's no tourney right now. Yeah, there will be a tourney. There will be another tourney for you though. Is there like a DSL, DDS, EU, NA overview page for dates and rankings and stuff? So you can check the website. We're basically, I'm gonna be working with Tumasov, who's in the chat, and we're gonna work on updating the website to make it a little bit more clear. Right now, the website has a lot of info on it, but it's a little bit scattered in a way that's not super like user friendly. So I'm basically going to be working on the next couple of days. I'm going to be drafting new pages for the website so that we can make a lot more sense. And so when you guys have any questions about it, you can just go on the website. There's going to be an FAQ section. There's going to be all these things. You know, so we're working on that. Stay tuned for the next couple of days. DSL schedule is hard to find. Yeah, that's because there's not really a schedule. That's the thing. We need to basically, there's 2 problems. One, we need to ask the teams to schedule earlier their matches. And 2, we need like some centralized location where we can find the scheduling of all these matches. Right now, we don't really have that. So it's a little bit difficult. When this create gank moment on Vindicta is really important. Feels like early game not as important. Yeah, so obviously, basically the moment you get ult on Vindicta, you want to like make ganks happen, ideally. But it does become more important as time goes on. And like at some point, it's like extremely crucial. But when I'm playing Vindicta, I look to make ganks happen from the moment that I have my ult. Ideally when laning stage is over. Like if I got my tower, I like to make ganks happen. Yeah, there's no schedule. Yeah, exactly. Yep, 100%. So that's kind of the issue. So we'll work on that. It's a work in progress for sure, guys. But we really appreciate you guys being patient with us. We're trying to figure out a lot of stuff right now, and you know, we're trying to make a scene that is a little bit dead alive. So there's a lot of difficulties related to that, but it's going really well, to be honest. I'm really happy with everybody that's been involved, and it's awesome. So we're gonna make it work one way or another. But yeah. Does Vindicta's ponytail assist in her movement? Yes, 100%. DDS2 seems bigger than DDS1. I mean, it's 24 teams instead of 8. So it's way, way bigger. I mean, we got basically insane growth. DDS1 could have been bigger, but we had to limit it because we didn't have the staff necessary. But with the second version in NA, we got a lot more people to help us out. We have production now. We have admins. We have all these people. At first, it was basically just like Ref and I pretty much just doing everything, right? So like I would create the teams for the first DDS. I created the teams. I did the coaching for every single team. Now we've got 4 coaches. We've got, I think, 3 admins plus Ref, 4 admins maybe now, I think. We've got like, you know, Tumasov's helping with the website. We've got a couple programmers. We've got Daniel, Spark, JMP helping on that side with automation, with bots, Discord bots. We've got, you know, a bunch of wonderful people involved with production. You know, Griffin, Kashi, Sochin, the Observers, Dia, other people. But anyway, favorite slide animation hero? That's gotta be Shiv. I mean, he looks dapper as hell, no? Shiv sliding, it's like it's aura a little bit, is it not? Help ban this player, please. I don't have any control on banning players, unfortunately. And yeah, basically I have no possible input on banning anyone. Just the best that you could do is report them. I can't, I mean, I can check to see if he's hacking. I can check real quick. We'll take a look. Give you my opinion. Zeri, aimbot, only headshots. Zeri, let's take a look here. Zeri, okay, this guy here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely looks very suspicious. It definitely looks very suspicious. First of all, he's buying like a hacker. I mean, he's not really doing that well for being a hacker. He's probably just really bad at everything else, but his itemization is very sus. More people reporting? I can't report if I wasn't in the game. How long did it take? How long did what take? That crit percent high? Yeah, it's pretty high, but it's not like impossible, but it's quite high. Quite high. You're playing 7, he was destroying you in lane. To be fair, 7's got a big head. It's possible that it's also just a smurf, and that your movement is bad. Respectfully. We're gonna check real quick. Yeah, true, Tumasov, true. Getting the good movement and routes. It took me quite a long. Are you doing a hacker catching series now? I guess not, but that would be funny. That would be funny. Alright, let's check out this guy. Let's take a look here. Zeri. Let's look at his first kill.
The old New York tuxedo.
Yeah, he's missing the souls. That's never a good... When he's missing the souls, that's never a good look. If he's missing the souls, but he's hitting that high headshot, that's not a good look. We'll take a look, though. I mean, so far, it looks fine. Doesn't look crazy. Okay, this guy just looks really bad, I'm gonna be honest. We'll take a look, though. So far, no signs of cheating. We do a viewer build rating series. What do you mean by a viewer build rating series? Like, the viewers rate the build? Okay, this guy just looks terrible. Maybe he toggles at some point, though? This looks completely legitimate, though.
I'm just getting started.
I mean, this looks 100% legit. So far. Like, he's not even aiming well. Rating builds being sent by others, I see. What is an M1 hero I can play? What do you mean? Like, you can play any M1 hero. How is he so bad but getting that high headshot percent? I mean, it is Alchemist. People have bad movement. He's also, like, probably purposely trying to go for headshots. It's Alchemist, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep watching a little bit, but, like, so far this guy just looks like he's not cheating. It's most likely, like, a movement thing, but we'll see. But this guy does not look like Like if I played an alchemist, my headshot percentage would be higher than this, most likely, just because I could like. Also, the fact that he's playing against 7, like 7 has a super big head. Gun holiday build? Yeah, it's a gun holiday build. I'm just watching this guy because I was Fly Parcero in the chat said he was hacking, but so far I'm not seeing any evidence. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Oh wait, he just hit a lot of headshots. Wait a second. Let's see. Was this any suspicious? This is not suspicious. I mean, you're just walking in a straight line. You're not crouching at all. You're walking in a straight line. You're making it just really easy for him to hit the headshots. And also, your head is really big, which doesn't help. But that looked normal. I've seen quite a bit of cheaters. That looked pretty normal to me. Let's skip to the next. No way he's hacking. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's hacking either. From a quick look. Hey, thank God I didn't help to ban this player. I mean, I don't have the authority to do that anyway. I think he only goes for headshots. I mean, yeah, he's clearly purposely aiming for headshots, despite, you know, missing a lot. He is clearly aiming for the headshots, but like his mouse movement feels very natural, you know? His mouse movement feels very natural. Like, a lot of his gameplay is just like not good. I think so, sir. Yeah, I think so. His aim's a disaster. Yeah, I agree. But like some cheaters' aim look like a disaster, but like that looks completely normal, right? He's not like trigger botting or anything on the head. That looks like normal. So anyway, you're hacking the website. Yeah, that guy's not cheating. We investigated. Don't think he's cheating. The stats do look suspicious. Yes, he has a very high crit percent, but when you look at his gameplay, it's very clear that he's not cheating. So. Yeah, even in the laning stage, right, he's got a lot of crit damage. That's because he's just aiming for headshots mostly, right? So he's just aiming for headshots. Yeah, exactly, Nomi. That's 100% correct. So I don't think that's that suspicious. All right, guys. I was supposed to end stream at 10 today. It was supposed to be like a 6-hour stream, but my power went out, so we lost an hour. But unfortunately, I do have some things to take care of, so I do have to end stream at 10. I'm really sorry about the shorter streams recently. Like last week. I had so many computer issues and I just like couldn't stream. So it's not that I want to have shorter streams, but I just have a lot of stuff going on right now, especially with coaching the teams and whatever. So, you know, I gotta go. Let's rate someone though. Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'll be back on a regular streaming schedule, close enough. Yeah, let's raid someone. Who do we raid? I'll raid Gucci because I feel bad I made him in Roblox. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to you so much for the support, and I wish you a wonderful night. Bye-bye.